Bohemia, the heart of Central Europe, is a land steeped in history and culture. Over the centuries, it has been home to Celts, Germanic tribes, Slavs, and several other peoples, shaping its unique identity. Today, we explore the fascinating journey of Bohemia, from ancient times to its role in the modern Czech Republic. In the 4th century BCE, the Celtic tribe known as the Boii settled in this region, later referred to by Roman authors as Desert of the Boii, giving Bohemia its name. Part of the nation migrated west with the Helvetii into southern France, leading to the events in which Julius Caesar led his army into Gaul in 58 BC. The Boii established trade routes and left behind artifacts that give us a glimpse into their advanced society. However, by the 1st century BCE, Germanic tribes such as the Macromani and Quadi began migrating into this area, gradually displacing the Celtic population. Over time, these tribes played a role in the shifting power dynamics of Central Europe during the Roman Empire. During the 6th century CE, the landscape changed once again as Slavic tribes migrated into Bohemia from the east. These Slavs brought with them a new language and culture, marking the foundation of the region's Slavic identity. By the 7th century, they united under the leadership of Samo, a Frankish merchant who successfully organised resistance against the Avar invaders. This period, known as Samo's Empire, though short-lived, was a precursor to the formation of future states in the region. In the 9th century, Bohemia became part of the Great Moravian Empire, a powerful Slavic state that facilitated the spread of Christianity. As Great Moravia declined in the late 9th century due to invasions by the Magyars, the Premyslid dynasty rose to prominence. The Premyslids established Bohemia as a duchy under the Holy Roman Empire, consolidating power through strategic alliances and military strength. The Premyslid rulers, such as Wenceslaus I, later venerated as Saint Wenceslaus, and Boleslav I, played crucial roles in solidifying Christianity in the region. The former was considered a martyr and saint upon his death, and on the 28th of September each year, Wenceslaus' feast day is celebrated in the Czech Republic. The dynasty also fostered economic growth by encouraging trade and founding towns. In 1198, Bohemia was elevated to the status of kingdom under Ottokar I, marking a turning point in its prestige within the Holy Roman Empire. The 13th century saw further expansion under Ottokar II, who extended Bohemian influence into neighbouring regions, though his ambitions ultimately led to conflict with the Habsburgs. Ottokar II's rivalry with the Habsburgs stemmed from his territorial expansion and claim over Austria, Styria, Carinthia, and Carniola, which brought him into direct competition with Rudolf I of Habsburg, the newly elected Holy Roman Emperor. This power struggle culminated in the Battle of Marschfeld in 1278, where Ottokar II was defeated and killed. As a result, the Habsburgs solidified their control over Austria and began their rise as a dominant force in Central Europe, while Bohemia temporarily lost its influence in the region. The 14th century marked a golden age for Bohemia. Under the rule of Charles IV, who was both King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, Prague became a political and cultural hub of Europe. Charles IV founded Charles University, the first university in Central Europe, and oversaw the construction of iconic landmarks like the Charles Bridge. His vision transformed Prague into a masterpiece of Gothic architecture and a centre of learning and culture. From the 13th century onward, German settlements began to emerge across Bohemia. This migration was actively encouraged by the Bohemian court as a means to replenish the population and economy after the devastation caused by the brief Mongol invasion of Europe in 1241. The influx of German settlers significantly influenced the region, introducing advanced mining technology to the Sudet mountain areas. As a result, Bohemia became a bilingual society, with German and Czech cultures coexisting and shaping its development. The 15th century brought turmoil and upheaval. The execution of reformer Jan Hus in 1415 sparked the Hussite Wars, a series of conflicts that challenged the Catholic Church's dominance. These wars were driven by demands for religious reform and greater equality, and while they ended in compromise, they left a lasting legacy on the European Protestant movements. In the early 16th century, a pivotal moment in Bohemian history occurred when Ferdinand I of Habsburg ascended to the throne of Bohemia in 1526. His election as king marked the beginning of the integration of Bohemia into the Habsburg Monarchy. Ferdinand's rule brought Bohemia under the control of a powerful dynasty that would dominate Central European politics for centuries. This union of crowns was driven by dynastic marriages and political manoeuvring, further consolidating Habsburg authority across the region. By the 17th century, and as a result of the oppression of Protestants, Bohemia found itself at the centre of the 30 Years' War, a devastating conflict that reshaped the continent. The Battle of White Mountain in 1620 was a turning point, as the Catholic Habsburgs defeated the Protestant nobility of Bohemia. This victory solidified Habsburg control and led to the suppression of Protestantism. The aftermath saw a period of intense Catholicization and the loss of Bohemia's traditional autonomy. Despite the devastation of war, Bohemia entered an era of reconstruction in the late 17th century. The Habsburgs promoted Baroque art and architecture, leading to a cultural renaissance that left a profound architectural legacy still visible today. This period also saw efforts to stabilise the economy and integrate Bohemia more tightly into the Habsburg Monarchy. The late 18th and early 19th centuries marked the beginning of industrialisation in Bohemia. Towns expanded as factories sprang up, focusing on textiles, glassmaking and mining. At the same time, a cultural revival known as Czech National Awakening began to take shape. Intellectuals and writers worked to revive the Czech language and celebrate the region's history and culture, laying the groundwork for a growing sense of national identity. This movement gained momentum throughout the 19th century, fueling aspirations for greater autonomy within the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The collapse of Austria-Hungary after World War I brought a new chapter in Bohemia's history. In 1918, Bohemia became a cornerstone of the newly formed Czechoslovakia, a democratic state that united Czechs and Slovaks. This period of independence brought significant social and economic progress, although tensions between different ethnic groups occasionally surfaced. The 20th century, however, also brought darker times. During World War II, Bohemia was occupied by Nazi Germany and reorganised as the Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia. This period was marked by repression and suffering. After the Second World War, the region fell under Soviet influence, becoming part of the Eastern Bloc during the Cold War. Communist rule brought industrial growth, but also political oppression and limited personal freedoms. In 1989, the Velvet Revolution peacefully ended communist control of Czechoslovakia. Just a few years later, in 1993, the country split peacefully into the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Bohemia emerged as a central region of the Czech Republic, continuing to play a vital role in the nation's political, cultural, and economic life. From its ancient Celtic roots to its modern role in the Czech Republic, Bohemia's history reflects centuries of resilience, cultural evolution, and transformation, shaping the vibrant and enduring identity it holds today.